It's time for Farm and Ranch headlines on the Southeast AgNet. I'm Tyron Spearman reporting. The Peanut Leadership Academy is now accepting applications for next year. This is a cooperative effort between Syngenta Crop Protection, the American Peanut Shellers Association, and other growers' associations. The program began in 1998 with the first class of 14 peanut growers from Alabama, Florida, and Georgia. Since then, the academy has grown to include growers from Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, and Virginia. Participants are taught how to become more effective spokesperson for the peanut industry and also develop industry relationships and further grow their leadership skills. 5 sessions take place for this academy over an 18-month period and require approximately 20 days of travel. During the sessions, activities are structured to give participants a good, thorough understanding of the U.S. peanut industry and other industry tours, along with the professional development training that they receive. You can now make application. Go on the internet at www.southernpeanutfarmers.org. The application must be submitted by October the 1st to be considered for this new class. But that's the new Peanut Leadership Academy accepting applications till October the 1st.
We are back and in person. You don't want to miss the biggest ag event of the year, the Citrus, Vegetable, and Specialty Crop Expo, August 18th and 19th at the Lee Civic Center, Fort Myers, Florida. Growers, pre-register now at citrusexpo.net to be eligible to win a John Deere gun safe provided by Everglades Equipment Group. This event would not be possible without sponsors like SQM, Citrus Research Development Foundation, Tessenderlo Curley, Syngenta, Cardin and Associates, Agro Research International, and Philip Ruck's Citrus Nursery. Get all the details at citrusexpo.net. That's citrusexpo.net.
For even more agricultural news, be sure to go to our website, southeastagnet.com. I'm Tyron Spearman for Southeast AgNet.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
We'll have a mix of clouds and sunshine today with a thunderstorm in spots this afternoon. High today 88 to 90, then thickening clouds tonight with a low of 75 to 79. Look for Tropical Storm Fred to affect the area tomorrow morning, continuing through Monday afternoon. Flooding and isolated tornadoes are possible. High Saturday 83 to 86, high Sunday 82 to 85. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Paul Fuller.
It's rodeo time in Ocala. The 39th annual Ocala Shrine Rodeo returns to the Southeastern Livestock Pavilion September 3rd and 4th, 7:30 nightly. Witness the superstars of the PRCA as cowboys ride to help children walk. For tickets and information, check out OcalaShrineRodeo.com for broncs, bulls, and babes. The Ocala Shrine Pro Rodeo, September 3rd and 4th, 7:30 nightly.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
Hi, this is Jack O'Brien, and I could tell you stories. Everett Mitchell, 75. Spent his whole lifetime being a good citizen. He follows the rules, he pays his taxes, he tithes to his church, he keeps his car and his golf cart under the speed limit, and he volunteers at the Antioch Soup Kitchen in Wildwood. Well, last week, Rhett was waiting in an exam room for his annual physical with Dr. Hammond over at the Citrus Center Medical Arts Building. Now, Rhett is the most straight-laced guy you're ever going to meet, which makes the fix he got himself into even more painful. They stuck him in one of those cold waiting rooms with the posters and anatomical charts, but this one had a flat-screen TV, just a little bigger than an iPad, hooked to the end of a long metal gooseneck and positioned to be right at eye level if you're sitting down. So Rhett is interested in it because it has a name on it, it's personalized for his visit, recommends his proper weight, his appropriate level of exercise, his calorie intake, and it even showed him his current medications. So after a couple minutes of medical history and animations, a silhouette of the human body appears with a title over it that reads, "Do you have any medical questions today?" Well, he thought this is a great way to ease his anxiety about his exam, particularly the part he dreaded, the humiliating and uncomfortable part. I know you women think men are just babies, but Rhett is a very private person, and he's easily embarrassed and a bit frightened about what he might hear from the doctor. So he looked again at the screen. It clearly said, "Do you have any medical questions today? Touch anywhere to begin." Well, Rhett thought about it for a moment. He decided he'd start with something easy. However, he didn't know that the screen is programmed to only wait so long for an answer, and then it'll move on to its next routine, which was an educational description of the various organs and systems within the body. Touch anywhere to begin, it said. So Rhett thought he'd ask about his heart, so he touched his chest. Instantly, a human heart was on the screen. But it wasn't there because Rhett touched his chest. It was there because the next video was about the heart. And Rhett didn't know that. But he listened to the narration and finally convinced himself this was a great way to get the questions answered that he had. That's why when Dr. Hammond opened the door, Rhett's rear end was about a foot from the TV, his trousers were around his ankles, and he was furiously pushing on his cheeks with both hands. The doctor said, "Rhett, what are you doing?" Rhett straightened up and turned toward the door, naked as a newborn, trying to be careful not to get tripped up and fall over. "Your TV doesn't work, Doc. I'm trying to find out about my prostate, and now it's talking about my spleen." Well, Dr. Hammond turned and took a deep breath, and he said, "Are you having any pain or anything unusual that might make you think you had a problem?" "No, everything's pretty much okay, I guess." "I'll tell you what, Rhett. Your blood work's back, your PSA numbers are excellent, you're 75 years old. I think we can skip that part this year." "Oh, that's great, Doc. Man, you don't know what a relief that is." Well, Rhett considered it his best exam ever. And so did Dr. Hammond.
Like what you've just heard? I Could Tell You Stories with Jack O'Brien is brought to you by Brick City Digital. Hi, I'm Michael Warren, and at Brick City Digital Marketing, we believe every business has a great story to tell. Our job is to help your business tell your story in a way that brings more customers to your door. We help small businesses just like yours with web design, social media, SEO, video, and more. Visit us online at brickcity.com or call 352-351-1131 for a free consultation.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Ocala Talks on Friday the 13th. 622-9622 is the number to call if you want to become part of the program. Numbers are in. More numbers are starting to dwindle out from the census. They did the census last year. Numbers are being calculated. Population of the United States grew by 7.5%. 331.4 million people live here, according to the census. That's the slowest growth rate over a 10-year period since the 1930s. Florida's population grew at a little better clip than that, almost 15%, 14.6%. In 2010, we had 18.8 million people in Florida. Now we got 21.5 million people. It's the 8th highest growth rate in the country. We're going to gain a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. The redrawing of the districts is going to occur probably. They're going to start talking about it now, and the drawing will probably happen in January, so it'll be there for the elections in 2022. But then there's they get a little more in depth and show you that there may be some diversification going on. Marion County, not behind Florida overall in population growth. Marion County grew 13.5% in the same 10-year period to 375,908. That's from 2010 to 2020, a 13.5% increase. Preliminary data shows the county is aging. There's a surprise. The growth in population aged 18 and older was 15.4%, but only 5.3% for 17 and under. The percentage of Marion County residents who identified as white dropped from 81% in 2010 to 71.4% in 2020. The black population decreased from 12.3 to 11.8% in the same total time. The percentage of people identifying as Hispanic or Latino increased by 4%, from 10.9% to 14.9%. Marion County increased 14 points from 43 to 57 in the diversity index score. This index shows how likely it is two people from an area would have a different race or ethnicity on a scale of 1 to 100. The diversity index of the United States is 67. Florida's is 75. Ocala saw a 12.9% population increase from over 56,000 to nearly 64,000 in the decade. Its diversity increased also from 14 points to 68 points. The white non-Hispanic population was the only race to decrease within the city. It went down 4.2%, but still 60% of the population identifies as white. The black population in Ocala changed only slightly. It makes up 19.3% of Ocala. The population identifying as Hispanic or Latino increased 65.4%, now making up about 17% of the total population in the city limits of Ocala, according to the 2020 census. Dunellen saw a population increase of 11.3%. Bellevue saw an increase of 20.5% on their population. Reddick's population, on the other hand, decreased by 11%. Subdivisions containing Reddick and McIntosh were the only area of the county that saw a population decrease. Northeast and East Marion County saw slight increases in population. Central, South, and Western Marion County saw higher population increase. And the villages that are in Marion County and Sumter County was named the nation's fastest growing metro area. With an urban core of at least 50,000 people, it grew 39% from 2010 to 2020. It is the fastest growing urban area in the country. That's the villages that encompasses Marion and Sumter County. Data shows that there's an 8.1 increase in the number of housing units in Marion County. There's now about 177,000 housing units in the county. There was a 13.9 increase in the number of occupied housing units, coinciding with a 22.2% decrease in vacant houses. So Marion County, all in all, this census was a very positive note for Marion County. Everything is growth. Just like the CEP has been telling us, the county commission has been telling us, the city council has been telling us, Marion County is one of the fastest growing areas in the state. The Villages helps that, as it is the fastest growing metro area in the state, period. In the country, not just in the state, in the country. But those numbers show a diversification of Marion County as well. Good morning. You're on Ocala Talks.
Good morning, Tom. It's Vanessa, and I'm calling today not about the diversification of Marion County, but about a concern that's kind of come to light over the last few days. I have a friend whose mother is in the hospital, and they are denying this mother ivermectin as treatment for her pretty advanced case at this point of COVID-19. And it is not the doctors denying it. The doctors wrote the prescription. It's the actual pharmacist who refused to fill it. And evidently, it is the hospital board who is refusing to allow patients in our hospitals to be treated with ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine.
So hold on.
That would be interesting to the citizens.
Hold on. Let me get this right. There's a lady who is in the hospital with COVID. Her doctor has prescribed a certain medication. And the board at the hospital has instructed their pharmacist not to fill that prescription.
Correct.
What the hell is going on?
Yeah. What the hell is going on? And follow it up with
I thought doctors made
local
decisions.
paper.
I thought doctors made decisions. I didn't think boards made decisions.
I didn't either, which is really disturbing. So I guess if you're going to the hospital for COVID, probably need to get your family physician to load you up on some ivermectin before you get there, because you won't get it at the hospital.
And there's only 2 different hospital systems here, so you got a 50-50 chance of getting the one that she's talking about.
I think that they both are pretty much following the same script.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But so a doctor, a licensed physician prescribed ivermectin, and the hospital is refusing to fill it.
Correct. And they've been battling this for 3 weeks.
But the doctor works at the hospital.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Wow.
I'm sure there's more than one.
I've never heard of that before.
I haven't either.
I've heard of insurance companies denying doctors' orders, but not a hospital.
Nope.
And I guess they're doing it on liability. They're saying probably liability issues.
They are saying that they're just not sure yet that it's effective and that it's not dangerous. And I think it's really interesting that we have an article that came out in a local paper today that kind of blows up this whole ivermectin.
What article is that? What paper? What paper?
Hysteria. It's in the Ocala Gazette. The
Okay.
Ocala Gazette put out an article about how dangerous ivermectin may be. Did not, in my recollection, after reading the article, I don't recall them citing like any actual medical professionals. They relied a lot on journalists who cover medical stuff, which doesn't make sense to me. And then they also went on to say that with regard to ivermectin, someone's quoted as saying that you just have to let the studies run their course and take the time to complete the studies. Yet we have emergency use vaccines where nobody's completed a study, and we've definitely not let the time run out to complete the study. We just kind of threw it out there, and we are the study. So I think that when you're going to write an article in a local paper, you need to make sure that you don't have a conflicting, hypocritical information.
I just don't understand a doctor's orders being ignored by the hospital because a board of directors said no.
Neither do I.
I don't
either. And in the article, it also said that you can't give ivermectin when you're on a blood thinner. I have a personal friend who's on a blood thinner and currently taking ivermectin, so that is misinformation.
Well,
so I'm concerned that we have collusion between a local reporting, whatever you want to call it, I guess the Gazette considers themselves a newspaper, a collusion between a newspaper trying to put out a story to maybe sway public opinion so that the hospital doesn't look as bad as it's looking right now.
I don't know.
That's my concern. It might sound.
I don't know if there's collusion because I don't know enough about it, but I understand how you could draw that conclusion. Hey, if you would, once you get off the air, if you would text me that so I can start looking into that, please.
I sure will.
I like looking into things like that.
Have a great day, y'all.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Yeah. I know you love a collusion.
I do love a collusion.
Have a good one.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, more from Ocala Talks, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.